So we're going to continue. Um, this is the second component of the building of the Active Directory domain and server. Last time where I left off, you saw that in the prerequisite check, it came back with a problem, and that problem was related to the administrative password. So what I found, and this might be helpful for you, just as a point of note, the logged on user that I was in as was not the administrative account that it was looking for me to change the password. So I kept changing the password on the logged on user. I'm like, wait a minute, why is this not working? So I went into the Active Directory users and computers, and I went into the local users and groups by way of computer management. So I'll show you that just really quickly. Go to Administrative Tools and into Computer Management, and at which point you see the local users and groups. You can click into the user, find that administrative account, and select Set Password. You can change that password. Their complexity requirements are great. Um, you're going to need to use a capital. You're going to need to use a special character, lowercase, number, all of those kinds of good things. Okay. Set that password, and then you're going to do your prerequisite check again. And that is going to come back. All prerequisites have passed. Click to install. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and install the domain services. So this will now be the primary domain. What this will allow us to do is, yeah, okay. That's a notification. You see that exclamation mark? It's just a notification telling you that there is something that it is trying to highlight for you, a best practice. Okay, so um, yep, okay. And so as you see these notifications, these are informational and they're telling you some of the best practices and where maybe you are outside of that. Okay, very good information. So this will be the domain controller. And once this DC has been built, I've built this as the DC and the DNS server. What I will do is I will switch over to another virtual machine. Let me see. My VMware is not showing me. Okay, let me get to the top here. What I want to do is I want to switch over and show you the other virtual machine upon which I will build Exchange. So I'm going to add that server to the domain, and I'm going to build the Exchange server. On this server, we have the Active Directory role. So we're going to build out our user community, our finance team, our HR team, our IT team, and we're going to put everybody into those appropriate groups. We're going to create the users and organizational units. This is what this is the means of structure within Active Directory. OU is what it's called. That's an organizational unit. Okay. Within those organizational units, you can create those, the HR teams, you can create various objects. Again, remembering Active Directory is a database that allows control over resources. That's all it is, right? It's a big database that says, okay, you can use this printer, you can get to the internet, you have access to this shared drive, or you are a member of this group that has access to a shared drive. So it's a means of an administrator of maintaining centralized control over a network, right? Back in the day, what we had to do was we had to run around and make changes individually to computers and like that. Well, that was a little resource intensive. It was great administrative overhead, so you were going to have to pay quite a few people to be able to manage that function. And so the Exchange server, I'm sorry, the server has grown and evolved to a place where it is a very usable central control of everything on that network. Okay, so this is a very good demonstration as it relates to the latest control methods within a domain. So this is the kind of thing that you would see in absolutely any organization that you walked into. Okay, so we're building the blackstarliner.com domain, and it is working. The progress indicator would demonstrate that. Okay. I don't think I'm going to bore you and make you watch the progress indicator go through and complete the installation of the domain. What we'll do is I'm going to go ahead through the magic of screen sharing. I'm going to pause and I'll pick up again when um, we're ready to go forward with the configuration of our domain. Again, another one of the things that we're going to do here is we're going to configure Exchange server on another server. We're going to add these servers to the domains. We're going to build some client machines. I think I'll build a Windows 8.1, a Windows XP, a Windows 7 machine, and I'll show you how to join those machines to the domain and assign resources and give rights, right? So that they can see specific folders and files on the network and others they can't see. So if you have customer service representatives, you don't want them to be able to look into an HR shared directory and be able to see what everybody earns in the organization, right? So that is handled by way of rights and permissions. Okay. And so I'm going to show you that. And in addition to that, we might go into some group policy where I can show you how you can really control the user's environment. You can lock down the USB drive so they can't burn anything or copy anything to a USB. You can lock down the DVD, the optical drive, so that they can't burn a disk. Why would a company do this? Because they had proprietary information and they don't want anybody to be able to take it, right? Um, so it actually completed the installation of the domain controller. So what you're looking at now is the reboot of the 2012 Windows Server. Okay, so that's coming back online. It's a pretty fast boot. Bear in mind, if you will, that this is being built in a virtual capacity on a desktop class machine. This is not a server. This does not have the resources that a server does. Okay. So this is on a desktop class machine. Granted, my machine is powerful. It is not powerful enough to serve as a server. This is only for demonstration purposes. On a actual server with more resources, this process would go a lot faster. Okay, the starting up and the restarting. However, it is very important that the when the server tells you that it needs to do a restart then. Don't go further and try to do more work and you know what I mean? Don't do that. Do the restart just so that it goes down, it comes back up gracefully, and you're ready to go forward. Okay, don't skip steps. There's no shortcuts in IT. Okay, and so we're going to get logged back into Windows Server 2012 R2. We'll get logged in once it's good and ready to allow us, I guess, is the way that this is going to work. I do want to get to my other VMs. Okay, so this is one of the other VMs. This VM I am going to add to the domain once that domain is finished over on the other side. I don't understand why my VMware is not um, displaying. When you go over to the top, that should be displaying for me. It's okay. I can work with it anyway. Okay, so now again, what this is doing, we made a pretty major change. We made this a domain controller at the top of the forest, right? And so this is now prepared to give access to all other servers and client machines to this domain. You'll notice that it now has the Black Star Liner context because we are logging into Black Star Liner slash Powerhouse. Earlier, when we logged in, we were just logging into Powerhouse. That's the name of my machine. Okay. No longer are we simply logging into Powerhouse, which is the local machine. We are now logging into a network location, which is Black Star Liner. So the authentication credentials, the password, right, that you put in here is no longer being checked against a local source. That is to say, when you're on your machine and you're not on a domain, the password is stored on your computer. In this case, because we're logging into a domain, the password is stored elsewhere. Okay. And so we're logging into the domain. I think I'm going a little far on this video. I think I'm going to stop this, turn it into a chunk. I'll share this out and we'll move forward as I configure this server with you. Okay.